So welcome again. So now we have to be continually look over into the title is called that data acquisition. So in first episode, so what I said, the collection of the data is that very important for that data analysis. So in the first part, we are going to see about so what is the data acquisition. So the data acquisition is clearly talked about in what way I have to be collect the data. So in present situation, we are having so many methods and the technologies in order to make the collection of the data. And also we are having two varieties of that two methods we may collect that data. So one is called the unstructured data and another one is called that structured, that is called that a traditional DBMS system, that is the relational database management system. So in tradition method, the people will prepare that certain questionnaire, and then that people has to be circulate these questionnaires through by that media or by that paper or by that certain sources, and then they have to be go for that one-to-one meeting, and then so they will collect that piece of that information from the group of that people. So this is the traditional method. But in that novel method, now everything that is coming to that web, and then so web platforms and then web applications. So in that moment, collection of the data from the various resources, it seems to be that very easier now. So in that scenario, so we have to be quickly see in what way so from we have to be collect the data. So in that situation, very easiest way is called that API. Already you people know. So what is that API? That is the application programming interface. So let I have to be connect that any platform through by this API. That is the independent of that operating system, independent of that application softwares that is running behind that, and then so independent of that browser. So the everything that has been independent when we have to be applied, that is the API. So in that API already we know that is that RESTful and then so RESTless API. But for the data collection, a RESTful kind of the API seems to be that very useful. So this is that one beautiful method. We have to be collect that or that scrap that information from that websites and then some web applications. And then from the end users, this is obvious method. Who is our target audience? Let we have to be sit with them and then so ask their questions, and then we have to be collect the feedbacks from them. From that feedbacks, we may go with that certain analysis. And then so third parameter is called that is the web scrap. So these are all that next very beautiful tool. Every website is having that lot of and a lot of dozens of that informations, and there's tons of information that has been loaded into the websites. So I hopefully believe so by using the web scrap, we may collect that our necessary data from the websites or from the web application too. And the next one, we may collect that data from the emails and also cloud storage. So there is so many informations that has been incorporated in our own email, and also that's in our cloud storage. And also we may extract that piece of the information from the client server method also. So in case in REST API, we may go with that representational state transfer. So if it the case, there is the three parameters is there: post, put, and then get. So post means I have to be collect the data, and then put means I have to be feed the data, and then so get means I can able to be collect that certain structured information from the websites. So the rest is having that two setup of the parameters: post, put, and then so get. So we have to be collect the data in the form of 5 methods. So one is called that REST API, and second one is from the end users, and the third one is that web scrap, and the fourth one is email and then cloud storage, and finally we have to be worked with that client servers. And now quickly we have to be see how this request that has been worked out in programming wise. So everybody knows so how the Python is working on it. So just we have to be enable this HTTP request in that Python to extract that piece of that information. Just look over into that code. That is that very easy. So first of all, I am going to be define from which website I am going to be extract that code or that crawl the piece of that information from that website. So I have to be defined that one variable URL. So within that single quote, you have to be specify that URL path where you are going to be collect your piece of that information. Along that you have to be add up, that is the two parameters, that is the post slash one. So this is very important. And then I have to be get the response. So for that you have to know the syntax, that is the response that get that URL. So that URL should be assigned to the variable, so what I designed. So in previous line I assigned this entire web address into that variable is called, that is the URL, and then dot get URL equal to URL, and then so print response dot text. So and the next way I have to be defined that the payload. So in the payload I am defining what sort of that information I need from that specified website. So what I set in that URL. So I defining for that user ID, and then so title, and then so body, and these three parameters I am going to be extract and or scroll from that website, and then I define that is the payload as that function. And now I am giving that is the response as that response dot post URL equal to URL and the data equal to so payload. So from that payload all the data that has been extracted, and finally I have to be print that status underscore code, and then so the text what I received from that website. So this is that one method we have to be scroll, sorry, not a scroll, crawl the piece of that information from the websites. And continually we have to be see on the next episode how we have to be use that IXML and then Beautiful Soup.